I'm excited about today's video because the video is a direct request from one of you from a subscriber. But Tang90s dropped a comment for me and wants to know, can you please give me a sample of empathy statements in every situation? Well, I'm not sure that I can give you an empathy statement in every single situation because, it's infinite. But I can and I will give you empathy statements that you can use as is or adapt. So first of all, Batang90s, thank you for trusting me to help you by going to the comments and telling me what you're looking for. Because of you, I am bringing to you all today 20 damn good empathy statements. These are statements that you can use as they are. I put a lot of thought into the statements that I've written. Some I have collected. You can use them as they are, or even better, adapt them to be the best fit for your situation, your customers, your organization. Stick around until the end because I will give you a link to download the phrases that I'm giving you plus a practice sheet. It will be in the description box. So I'm excited. We're going to get right to it. 20 empathy phrases you can use as they are or adapt them to be a fit for your unique situation. I realize this has to be frustrating for you. Now, right here is a statement that I personally use the most often. It is my favorite of everything I'm sharing with you today. I want to get to the bottom of this just as much as you do. This is obviously a horrible time for you. This is great when you know that the problem has a major impact on the customer, or you know that the problem is your fault. I initially came up with this empathy phrase for one of my life insurance clients. I was working with people who worked in the claims department, and we were trying to make sure they didn't sound robotic or rote when a person called in to file a claim for life insurance after a spouse died or a child. This is obviously a horrible time for you. I can see your point on that. This is perfect. If I don't want to argue, maybe I do disagree, but I can see where you're coming from. It's a neutral, non-inflammatory statement that you can use in a lot of situations. And by the way, all of these statements can be adapted for over the phone, face-to-face, chat, email, wherever you meet your customers. I'm so disappointed to hear your shipment hasn't reached you. I'd be upset too. If I were in your position, I'd feel just as you do. And with the right tone and the right attitude, you're not slamming your company. You're just saying, I'm human, I can relate, and if I were in your shoes, I'd feel the same way. I realize you're upset. I want to take a minute to talk about what I think has happened and then answer any questions you have. I know you're anxious to see this completed. This is a great approach when the person continues to vent or they're interrupting you, and they're doing that because they are anxious or they doubt that resolution is going to come or come quickly. So this is a way to bring the temperature down. I know you're anxious to see this completed. I know this isn't the same as having a perfect photo shoot initially, but I hope it shows you how sorry we are. I was trying to do two things with this statement. One, own the problem, the mishap, and at the same time apologize. Again, trying to bring down the temperature and trying to connect with the customer. I'm sorry you've had to deal with that. This is, how I might talk to my friend, or my sister when they tell me about something they've gone through. I might genuinely make a statement like this, and I think it's perfect when you're talking with your customers. I hate to think you won't be able to take your new duffel bag on your trip next week and that you have to wait for a replacement. I wrote that working with a client that sold, obviously, luggage and handbags. And sometimes, something arrives damaged or it doesn't arrive on time or the wrong item was shipped. This is a way to apologize not only for the mistake, but if the customer in the conversation said, but I specifically bought that for my trip next week to Las Vegas. And now, yes, you're going to send a replacement, but I won't have it in time. Acknowledge both the mistake and the impact that has on the customer. That's what real empathy is. As a mother of a child with food allergies, I certainly understand your need to know all of the ingredients in your yogurt. Now, I wrote this for a food and beverage company where one of the toughest situations is people wanting to know the specific ingredient list in a product. And KFC, they're not going to tell you that list of secret spices in the chicken. Even if you say, I can't eat here, or my child can't eat here until we know what's in the food, because so many of us have allergies. But my client is in that position. They're not able to give that list out. So I, working with them, came up with, just in conversation, I can relate to that because my own daughter, has a walnut allergy. And so, I have to know what's in the food that she eats. I mean, she's 21 now, so, she has to know. But I was able to give a statement to show my client that you can relate. So relating to a customer saying, I get it, or I'm in the same situation. That is a powerful way to connect, which is, at the end of the day, empathy. I don't want you to worry at all. Your flight is confirmed and you're checked in. An American Airlines agent over the phone said this exactly to me, these exact words, when I had a technical problem. And she sensed that my biggest worry was that my flight, or that it wasn't booked all the way through to Tulsa, which is where I was heading, where I live. So I remember her words, I don't want you to worry. Don't worry. We did have a glitch, but your flight is confirmed. You're checked in all the way through to Tulsa. That brought my temperature down and gave me confidence in the airline. I can't find the words to express how truly sorry we are for the frustration you've experienced. Sometimes you don't have the words, and be genuine, be transparent, and just say that. It will go over well if you say it that way. This is no more acceptable to us than it is to you. Clearly, you're going to cherry pick when you would use this approach, but if you've messed up and you're comfortable owning that outright, this is a great approach. It's not for everybody, not for every company, and not for every situation, yet it can be, in the right circumstances, a good option. You deserved a lot better from us. We let you down. Same thing. You got to know, that you're owning that with a statement like that. You're right. That is a diplomatic, or this is a diplomatic response. When the person is angry, they are explaining and over-explaining and venting. One of the most effective ways to create calm and bring down the temperature, and at the same time express empathy, is just to simply say, you're right. Or the other version that I gave you was, I can see your point on that. This one will work like a magic wand, because where do you go with that? You're agreeing with them. And that can be very powerful as a de-escalation tool, but we're talking about for empathy in this case. I'm sorry about the wait. We are short-staffed, but still, I'm sorry. Someone just said this to me yesterday. I was on hold for 48 minutes, and I mean 48 minutes, almost an hour. It was okay because I was multitasking. I probably shot out 2 or 3 emails during that time. I was actually working on this video during that time while my phone was on speaker. But I love that she acknowledged that. It was at the end of the call. I'm sorry about the wait. We're short-staffed today. Still, I'm sorry. So acknowledging, that's transparency, it's empathy, it's all of that. And finally, I'm sorry you've had to call multiple times about the same issue. My goal is to get this resolved on this phone call. This is another statement that, from my catalog of actual situations that I have experienced. I was a customer for a large furniture manufacturer. I had a credit coming to me. It had been a full 11 weeks since the credit was promised to me. It was a lot of money, so you better believe I was making multiple phone calls, very, very upset. And the lady that I talked to this particular day was so apologetic, so understanding. She didn't solve it on that phone call. Not her fault. It was clearly a company issue, but that still went over very well. So there you have it. 20 phrases for conveying empathy to your customers. Empathy is as simple as you putting yourself in your customer's shoes, trying to imagine what they have experienced, what they are feeling, and then speaking to that. All right, here's my empathy challenge for you. I want you to identify the top 5 reasons your customers reach out to you for help, for support when there's a problem. And for each of those 5 reasons, I want you to come up with an empathy phrase, an empathy statement that you can use right in the moment. Take the phrases I've given you to inspire you, or you might even find phrases that you can use as is. So top 5 problems and 5 empathy statements, one for each scenario that you can use right in the moment. If I've helped you out today, be sure to like my video, and I want you to subscribe to my channel so you are the first to know when I release a new training. Until next time.